India today. I have with me the team of the Mehta Boys. Boman, somebody I met downstairs and they were telling me कि क्या artist है यार Boman, सब कुछ कर लेता है, acting तो कर रहा है, अभी writing भी कर रहा है, direction भी कर रहा है. So tell me, where did the idea come that you wanted to direct a film and write a film?
I met a little boy. He was must have been 11 years old, and he told me, "Why don't you direct a film?" Yeah, and it was very sweet of him. He told me very sweetly. He told me when I was 11 years old.
You guys have heard this story.
Yes.
No, in fact, I had you for a moment.
Yeah, you did.
I had you for a moment. No, I've never.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I always used to walk around with my dad's camera, fixing shots and editing in my head and watching movies over and over again and knowing music cues, cuts, things like that, reading a lot, writing essays. It's been a lifelong dream, actually.
Yeah. But how was the experience of sitting on that director's chair, donning that hat? Tell me about that. And the challenges, of course.
The challenges came on the writing stage.
Okay.
Because if you've got your writing in place, direction and acting and cinematography and art direction becomes very easy.
Right.
Easy meaning you know where you're going with it. All you got to do is then give it your heart and soul. But if the writing is not in place, you're doing firefighting.
Yeah.
How do you fix something on the set? It's a problem. But if the writing is in place, as the great Billy Wilder says, you don't direct out of a telephone directory. You need a solid script.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason why I had to learn writing, and my guru Alex helped me so much to understand the power of the written word, the unwasted word, the unwasted sentence. And every time we'd write a scene and said, I think there's something not quite working with the scene. I think it's a beautiful scene. Saying, sure, it's a beautiful scene.
Right.
It doesn't fit in the film. And if you want it to fit in the film, bring the theme in, bring the conflict in, and make sure there is an escalation with every scene. And then you rework on it and then fix it back. Otherwise, pull it out. And the question it always asked, if we pull the scene out of the film, will your story come crashing down? No, then throw it out. No matter how much you love it.
Amazing.
So I think the writing is crucial.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was easy.
Easy?
Well, directing actors, they were wonderful.
Okay, but let them say, like, how was he as a director? Tell us more about it.
तो मेरी टेस्ट ले रही हो।
सच बता दे
Report card. कितना सच?
Yelp review. खाना कैसा था, सर्विस कैसा था, एम्बियंस कैसा था, प्रॉम्प्ट था, प्राइसिंग वाइज कैसा था।
सब बताओ.
बताइए श्रेया जी।
Let's start with you.
अरे please.
You're the son. Go
अरे
first.
please go for it. Go for it.
I mean, what do I say? It's always been a dream.
सच बोलना.
हाँ. सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं बोलूँगी. It's always been a dream to work with Boman sir. I remember when I got a call about the audition, and they informed me that there is this film that's being made where Boman sir is acting, and I said, okay. And then they said, and he's written, and I was like, what?
Wow.
And then they said, he's directing, and I was like, 1 second, what is going on? And when I heard that, I was like, I know I have to be a part of this project by hook or by crook. And I was very lucky, to get this film and be a part of it, because Boman sir is already a stalwart of our country as an actor. But the audiences are going to get even luckier once they see him as a director because of just the voice that he has. Like you were mentioning, he is an artist in the truest form. His mind works at a speed that, I don't even think we can comprehend. It's so fast because when we're doing a scene, he's not just thinking about, his performance. He's also thinking about, how the shot needs to look. He's looking at my costume and saying, I prefer this color, because he also is a photographer and has a very key sense over there, and is directing and he's managing everything all at once. At the same time, when I was being directed by him and acting with him, I don't know how he pulled it off. There were two people on set. There was Boman Irani, the actor playing Shiv, and there was Boman Irani, the director. And he would do the scene with me, and that would be Shiv because he really embodied Shiv. And then suddenly he would just talk to me, and like I would not even think they're the same person.
Wow.
So there was so much to learn for me there. Truly, I feel like I went to film school, you know, just spending time with him. I would, in fact, go even when I was not needed. I'd be like, can I just come and sit? Because just the way he talks, he's such a giver. And I think that's very important as a director to be a giver, you know. So I think they should say more because I can keep going on about it.
I think I might be wrong about this, but isn't Boman Irani the youngest director of this country? That 11-year-old boy.
Oh,
that you're talking
so
about?
sweet.
You know, he's honestly, you know, to see all that he has done to come ahead, make this film, and you can have apprehensions. I won't deny it. Like when I first got the script, I was in a space where people around me also, in the way the constant buzz in the industry is also to do things which are bigger.
Absolutely.
And like how we mentioned before the trailer launch, 10 cars which are blasting off. So yeah, I did also desire to look forward to scripts like that.
Yes.
Vikesh Bhutani and Sujat Saudagar. Shujat I had worked with on Bombay Meri Jaan. He was my director. He's one of the producers on this film. He called me and he said, "There's a script for you." And I said, "Sir, मैं ऐसा सोच रहा हूँ, अभी तो ऐसा सोच रहा हूँ." This was my real conversation with him. He said, "पढ़ ले एक बार, उसके बाद देखते हैं." Because we had conversations, creative conversations. He had an idea of what I was looking at. When I read it, which is the first thing I told him when I met him is, if I call myself an artist, there is no way in this world I can let go of this script.
Wow.
Okay, and that was my first instinct. I really wanted to do this film, but there was always this idea. He had never directed in his life. He'd done theatre, he'd done films. I wasn't sure where it's going to go until we met and he asked me to read a scene. और मैंने एक scene पढ़ा. Cut to the director in him also, just jacket came out. He stood up. I am also standing, and suddenly he's giving me instructions, and I'm following it. It just happened right there, which is rare. I think I would like to believe actors in the industry will tell you that it's rare to have that kind of strange creative connect. I just jumped on it. From there on, the entire rehearsal process, he made sure I hate him like Amay would want to hate his father in the film. And he ensured that I carry on that feeling.
Method acting.
I know for a fact that a lot of people who have worked with Mr. Boman Irani want and see a friend in him. Unfortunately, I ensured, or he ensured, that I don't see a friend in him. Okay? Every bit that Amay feels, a man who has problems dealing with authority, dealing with someone who's older to him, wanting a sense of validation from him. I am still that guy who's seeking validation from Boman Irani. That hasn't changed for me. You can imagine the kind of director he is.
Yeah.
That the film has ended 2 years back. The character hasn't left me yet. That says something about Boman Irani, the director.
When are you signing his validation certificate?
What sort of it? Sir, it's just a sham, yeah.
And tell me, of course, seeking validation, but there's also this self-doubt that Amay kind of deals with. As actors, tell me, I think self-doubt is something that you all must be experiencing, given the kind of competition that you guys. How do you overcome that individually, if you could share that?
I feel self-doubt, is part of the journey till the end.
Yeah.
And I think my relationship with Doubt Ji has changed. You know, like pehle Doubt Ji jab life mein aate the, to bahut melodrama. It used to be like this terrible breakup, like nahi, and you know, very, very, very intense.
Yeah.
But now I know.
You didn't tell me this before.
Now I know Doubt Ji will come. We'll have chai and naan khatai together, and you know, Doubt Ji will leave and come back again. So I think that sort of.
These actors.
So I think the relationship with Doubt has changed, and like in this film. For example, for me, that airport scene was, I can't tell you how stressed I was about that scene. Like it was, I don't know why these guys are laughing, but
one of the best scenes in the film.
But mere rone it was really like, even before we shot it, like and even when we shot it and after we were done, I was still like, I don't know, you know. but I trust these guys.
Yeah.
Even if we are talking about Japanese food, she'll come back to the airport scene.
Because वो विलायत जा रही है ना वो scene में.
जापान तो नहीं जा रही थी.
तो विलायत जा रही है.
Both of you?
बताइए.
I don't think this word really exists for me since I was a kid.
Wow.
No, genuinely, I'm not trying to be some fancy person. There are days when I am very low, very stressed, but I don't think it's self-inflicted doubt because for me, I have enough conviction that I know I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing because
Amazing.
I love doing it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's up to the world how they perceive things. But it's not doubt, it's more like worries and, you know, those kind of things are my problems.
I think I am unsure most of the times. The only way I deal with it is 3, 2, 1 jump. That's my and the fact that there's a lot of self-talk that happens. I think nobody can hype me up as well as I can, and I do a lot of that. I really hype myself.
Yeah.
I really like it's been a constant where I say I'm the best actor in the city at my age. At my age, sir.
Country.
City why? Because what it does it वो narrow कर देता ना.
हाँ, तब लगता है कि हाँ
There's a
हूँ मैं.
realistic idea to this.
अपने इलाके में.
Actor.
अपने इलाके में. So you know these are I'm just sharing a stupid idea that how I can hype myself. So I've done all those things. Having said that, I still don't know until I step in. You asked me this question, I didn't know where the answer would go. I don't have an answer. You just jump and hope that you land somewhere. But to get over that initial hiccup, I'm the best out there.
Amazing.
I have to have like dinner with you guys and pick up these tips here.
Yeah. Avinash, I'll just ask you here because right now everyone's talking about Laila Majnu re-release. Does that kind of give you that confidence boost with how the industry is now perceiving it, going back to that film and everyone's talking about it? Just looking at you, the song is right now playing in my mind too. So
I honestly, I mean, it's a great feeling. Something that came in probably deserved something and did not, and finally gets a. I think what it does is it makes everyone believe that something that you think is of value doesn't get the value, will finally get some value. So it definitely makes you feel that. But you know, this was 7 years back. I've done a lot of work after that.
Yeah.
I had moved on. This question has not left me. You know, but it's a nice feeling. I can't deny it. It's a great feeling, and I hope it keeps happening for all my work.
amazing, amazing. Papan, also tell me, of course, everyone's talking about how natural you were as a director, but throughout your journey, has there been anyone that you worked with and somebody just kind of inspired you or something that stayed with you about direction? Any director, any filmmaker?
Shyam Benegal.
Okay, wow.
No doubt about it. He would direct you, and you always felt you're doing it.
Wow.
He would just come and say something in your ear. Maybe it's a line, or maybe he'd say, maybe you can do this. That's it. That's one. Secondly, the work ethic,
Yeah.
the taste, the aesthetic, the on-set demeanor. Lunchtime. Lunchtime is lunchtime. He told me the crew is like an army. It marches on its stomach.
Wow.
So just because you feel that you're in the middle of a scene and it's going to happen, make sure that lunch is on time, and no matter how low the budget of the film is, feed people well.
Right.
These are the things I've imbibed from this great man.
Amazing.
So yeah, Shyam Benegal is the man.
Yeah. And also, Boman, I wanted to draw a reference because last year we saw Animal releasing, which was also about a father-son relationship.
Was it?
Yes, good question. But of course, that had alpha men characters. And here we have a sweet film about real stories. It's
There
going
was
on.
alphas.
Alpha?
He's an alpha man only.
Yeah. Come on.
But that film went out to kind of create a box office furore. This is going on digital, this is having a digital release. How do you look at both these mediums and how films are going to...
It's the same medium.
Yeah.
It's the vision of the director. The director wants to take it in a particular direction and give it a certain tonality.
Right.
And another director wants to tell the story. I don't think the movies are similar because the themes are different. I've not seen Animal. It's more about some. So I can't even say what the theme was. Here the theme is about just two people at crossroads at a particular time in their life where there would be a huge conflict. One is losing out on his powers. One is in the ascendancy but not quite realized his powers. One is becoming a man and one is losing his manhood. And there they are clashing. So I'm focusing on that little theme and running with it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I don't know, just because we're talking about a father and son film, all fathers and sons films should be similar and share the same theme. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
That's its own thing. That's a director's vision. And good luck to the director and good luck to the film. And this is another film completely.
Yeah. Amazing. Avinash, you want to add something to that?
I mean, all I can say is people who went to watch Animal for the father-son story and didn't find it can come and watch it on Amazon Prime.
Why? Let it go.
I'm just
Let it go.
Yeah.
No, just
Yeah.
let it go. Why?
Yeah. But Boman, also tell me, I think in our society, we kind of worship parents. I mean, we don't usually see the flaws in them, or we don't want to. As someone part of the cinema, do you think it's important to also show the flaws of parents on screen because they can be at wrong sometimes, or is it important to have the kids worship them?
Why shouldn't we show the flaws of human beings, whether they are parents or children or bosses or anyone? Why are we supposed to show people only as bathed in white, you know? I think every human being is flawed. Some of us has fatal flaws that can destroy us. Every human being has a wound.
Yeah.
Some wounds are deep rooted and some wounds need to be healed as soon as possible for growth. So I think if you really want to find change in a character, I think you should make sure that your character is flawed and wounded.
Yeah.
And all that he does, all the mistakes that he commits are thanks to the wound, but those are not excuses. And if he fixes himself, there is a possibility that person can redeem himself.
Amazing.
Otherwise, you can't redeem yourself.
Yeah.
And this film is about redemption up to a point. I'm not saying that they became the best of friends. I mean, if they went back home the next day, they would be the same. We don't know what happened the next morning.
Right.
So he says, I'll see you in the morning at the end of the film. But they're going to go at some day.
Absolutely.
Someday, they're going to go. They're going to take that big flight into the sky. The final flight into the sky. I don't think he's going to America. He's going away forever.
Right.
Right? Before that, if you can fix it, fix it. That's what one of the angles of the film is.
Yeah. And both the women, I wanted to ask you, we all talk about father-son relationships, but it's also said that they are closer to daughters. Tell me about your growing up experience and how it changed over the years with your fathers.
I think the superhero image that you grow up with, you know, of course I had that for a very, very, very long time. And I think it's only recently when I'm much older than these guys. You know, when you reach a certain age and this shift that's happening, you know, where you start seeing your parents age. And that, I think that does something to you. So for me, it's been a journey of that where there's a shift happening. There's I can no longer just be the kid or just being like how you were sharing that, you know, sab theek kar lenge, sab fix kar lenge, you know, now it's kind of like, I need to step in.
Yeah.
I need to step up. I need to step in to fix something. So that, I think life, human beings.
True.
My relationship with my father, same. I'm daddy's little girl. I will always be.
Yeah.
And my dad will always make everything okay for me, I think. But as I got out of my teens, I realized that there are certain things I turn to my mother for. And it's a part of our culture, I feel. I've also grown up feeling that my parents are always right.
True.
And rightfully so, because, you know, they have the experience, they've lived life. But the empathy I feel for Avinash's character and the way he's performed it is that I realized I could compare him to my older brother and feel like, nahi yaar, that day maybe he was not wrong. Maybe he was. And the film again does not ask you to take sides. It's not asking you to, say that, oh, I'm right, look ma, look dad, look. It's just saying, if you love somebody and they're in your life, have a little more empathy for each other. Because truly this world will become a better place if that happens,
And Avinash, I also wanted to ask you, because from the place that you come from, expressing love to your parents is something very alien, because I also come from Calcutta, so I understand that. Tell me, how did that equation change with your parents? Has it changed over the years?
So I think coming from the space and having seen men around, I think my father was kind of more evolved than most people around. And there was a certain way that he wanted to take us along. He probably understood that most of my learning would happen from him. And he sat down and spoke about everything in my life. He wanted to create a space where I could easily come and share whatever I want to him, all my difficulties. It's only when you grow up, you realize this is not happening for me. I actually felt that it was me who kind of distanced him away.
Okay.
Because I wanted someone who's just, that I had a certain apprehension to come to him. I was just sharing it to him. So my parents today just came back. They had gone out to Delhi. They were traveling back. They came back home. My sister came along. She came, and what she does is she holds my hand and she takes it to my dad and says, see, they kuch nahi karte. Look, he's not doing anything to you. Okay? Every time he comes, he hugs me so tight.
Yeah.
And he's hugging me and I'm like, I can't explain that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know where that happens from. I understand the love. I also know the worst phases of my life. He had just come and kept his hand, and I have felt like I have all the power in the world. That's the kind of relationship we share. But at the same time, my sister was still doing this. Idhar kuch nahi ho raha. Papa hi hai. I don't know how to explain this. It's so right now I think I find this beautiful enough,
Sweet.
and probably it is how it will be forever.
Yeah.
It has its own, juice to it,
True.
but that's what it is,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful.
Amazing. Lastly, I wanted to ask you, Boman, of course, you've been an example of how one can follow the dreams whenever they want to at any age. But tell me, there are people around you who kind of discourage you to take that step. Did that happen? Were there any weird advices that you got or anything that people
Like,
told you?
don't make a movie?
Yeah, or don't become an actor when you thought you could?
Well, if somebody said that to me, that person is no more my friend.
Very good.
Nice.
Because I feel, who decides a timeline for a human being?
Absolutely.
And who decided that at this age you're supposed to do this and this age you're supposed to do this? I became a photographer at the age of 33, which is like, you 33, you changing your line. From shopkeeper, you're becoming a photographer. Chhodna, baap ke dukaan pe baithna, tu chupchap. Who are you to decide, number one?
Exactly.
And then 44, I went into theatre at the age of 35, 36. 44, I became a screen actor. And then at 52, 53, I started writing.
Yeah.
And now at 65, I'm debuting. I advise kids not to follow my timeline. Please do your thing as there's no need to hurry it up either.
Absolutely.
It will come.
Yeah.
It will come to you when you're good and ready. It's like, when an actor asks for, give me a couple of minutes before you take the shot. She was saying that I'm playing the fool before a shot sometimes. I do it to relax, and you're absolutely right. Any actor in his training will be taught to do some form of mental yoga to relax. That you don't tighten your body, you have to relax. I relaxed to be a director at the age of 65.
Superb. But all three of you, did you have any kind of advices, naysayers, anything that you want to share?
She should have had some naysayers. Whenever you followed your dreams, it's okay.
Trying.
She's so good in the movie, especially in the airport.
We'll have to mark the timeline and share that. But please tell us.
We can have your head pop up. This scene, watch, huh?
Yeah, I can do like hold a little placard. I'll hold a little placard. Yeah. it's a good idea.
Yes, we are running short of time, so yes, please answer.
Yeah. Fully. I mean, I don't know about naysayers, but my parents were very against me being an actor initially, yeah. And it was my brother at that time who was like, you go live your dreams, I'll support you. And then, of course, they came around and they understood.
I wish
that
I met your brother earlier.
Don't say what he already said. At least be original. But yeah, so I mean, I think it's a part and parcel, and after that, I don't think I've ever paid attention or paid heed to any other person saying anything else. It didn't matter.
Makes sense.
I see, I've had a lot of naysayers. I mean, they're still around. See, I started acting in 2003. My first film kind of released in 2018. Took me 15 years. There would be enough naysayers around. I remember, and he made a lot of sense to me at that point. He in fact came and said this to me, you know, Avinash, if you're standing in a queue for a very long time, maybe you're in the wrong queue. Have you ever given a thought to it? And honestly, if I just look at it rationally.
Who said that?
He's a friend of mine.
Give me his number.
So yeah, he said that, and I said maybe, you know,
Cautious.
you're right. What he says is right, but what do I feel and what do I want to do? Eventually, honestly, because I had burned all my bridges, and this is what I wanted to do. This is all I thought that I could do very well. I carried on. If I had something else going on, maybe I would have said कि नहीं हो रहा यार, शायद नहीं हो रहा, कुछ और कर लेते हैं. Also, I want to acknowledge the one up above. Every time I used to feel that maybe this is the end, something would drop into my hands and I would walk through.
That's
So,
beautiful.
I mean, it's just those things. So the naysayers would do what they do. I'm not saying they all are, they're not wishing well for
Of
you.
course.
But carry on.